Hello and welcome back to Cronkite Sports Live. We're glad to have you with us. I'm Ethan Tuttle, and I'm joined alongside Sammy Miller. Sammy, it's been a while since we've been at the desk, but it's good to be back. I'm ready to go. I'm sure you're ready to bounce right back into it as well.
Ethan, I am so ready to bounce back right into it, and let's get right to some Sun Devil hoops. So ASU faced off against Utah, and it was back and forth from the tip, with both offenses starting a little slow, but we have some action right away with Heath getting the rebound, putting it back up. Big time performance from Jay Heath. And then we have Neal coming in, feeding it to Graham with the putback, and Graham gets hype from the start. Utah won a little piece of the action with Dusaw. Mahorchic's impressive footwork, getting past Gaffney in for the easy layup. And now Jackson, he tried to get into some rhythm beyond the arc, wasn't successful, but Horn was successful, sinking the big time three, getting DFA hype. And now we have Lawrence with the big time slam. He is hype as well. But folks, get your popcorn. It's time for the final minute of play. Graham sinks the floater, and it is up ASU by 2. But now Utah gets the mid-range jumper and ties the game 62 all. It all comes down to the final play. Jackson attracts the defense, gives it to Graham, who sinks the floater in, and ASU is up 64-62 and ends up winning after this play by Heath's lockdown defense, and Utah just is not able to get it done. I'm now joined at the desk with men's basketball reporter Hunter Hipple. Hunter, why has the Sun Devils offense struggled so much this season?
You know, I think you can chalk it up to a bunch of different things, but really the biggest thing that stands out is if you look at the offensive statistics across the board and how they stack up with other teams across the country, they are bottom 50 in almost every category, including field goal percentage, three-point percentage. Basically any shot or any stat that deals with them making shots, they're really, really struggling in. So it's really easy to say that, oh, they're just not hitting shots. Well, that is kind of what's going on, is that they're just not hitting shots. But when that happens, you kind of need to look a little deeper and say, well, okay, what kind of shots are they taking? And watching ASU this year, there's been a lot of shots that I think maybe we would consider inefficient. So a lot of pull-ups from two-point range, three-point range, off the dribble, a lot of just isolation-heavy style basketball, and that's not always the most efficient way to go about things, especially when you're struggling and hunting for shots. You want to get more movement in there. And then secondly, kind of going with the overall theme of missing shots is that, you know, when Bobby Hurley brought in all these transfers last offseason, he built the team kind of around one guy, and that was Marion Jackson, who was the player of the year in the MAC conference and was, you know, by all accounts, a really, really solid player. But it kind of seems like he's maybe struggled to play up to the Pac-12 standard of basketball. And when you have an offense that's built around one guy, and that guy can't necessarily get it done at that level, and then when everyone else that's supposed to complement him is struggling, it really kind of creates a tough task for an offense to produce points. And that's really where the Sun Devils are really struggling this year.
And like you said, their offensive production definitely needs to increase. So how do you see them needing to move forward and find more success?
Yeah, I think two things maybe kind of stick out. One is that, well, when you're just not making shots, a lot of people would say, well, maybe there's some positive regression due for them. So because they missed a bunch in the first half, they're going to be able to make a bunch in the second half. That's probably the optimistic look at it. And kind of more the pessimistic look is that, well, this is just not a very good shooting team. So in order to correct that, you maybe need to get to the rim more, maybe run more sets, that type of thing. The second thing that comes to mind is that, you know, Marcus Bagley has played 3 games this year and has played 15 games in his career as a Sun Devil. That's a guy that was considered by a lot of people to be a first-round NBA draft pick when he first came here as a freshman in 2020. Missing a presence like that, who's somebody that doesn't necessarily need the ball to hit shots, is a guy that's going to be able to spot up and kind of stand in the corner and get the ball and be able to make a shot in an efficient way. And then on the other end with Bagley is, you know, he's got a 6'8" long athletic frame. That's somebody who can do a lot for you defensively when it comes switching to a 4. You can put him on a guy that's cooking, and he'll probably shut him down. That's a big cog that's been missing in ASU's machine so far. So if they're able to get him back, and they've been pretty quiet about when he is due back, if they're able to get a guy like Bagley back, I think it would do a lot for their offense and kind of really connect it together as a whole.
Well, thank you so much, Hunter. I really appreciate it. And now we're going to look forward and hear what head coach Bobby Hurley has to say about another poor offensive performance after their Colorado game.
It's just been a team that's really struggled to score, and I haven't had a team since I've been here that's had this much difficulty scoring the ball. So, I mean, we got to play better. We got to make shots. We got to execute.
And now it's time to look ahead to tomorrow's game against Stanford at 9 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The Sun Devils then continue their road trip to face off against the number 16th ranked USC Trojans and the number 3 ranked Arizona Wildcats in Tucson.
Let's hit the golf course. ASU entered Monday's action down 7-5 to Arizona in the Copper Cup, but a Monday morning surge got them right back into the thick of it. And hey, I'll tell you what, it was a hot day out there, but not as hot as the Sun Devils putters. Let's go ahead and pick it up here. You'll get a little bit of a sample here from Gabe Salvinares. He's got about a 20-footer here, and it just drops right into the bottom of the cup as he would go on to win his final match of the day, and he's starting to get some momentum. One of those guys trying to work his way up the roster. James Leal, the senior, showcasing his veteran nerves there as he knocks down the par putt, gets the save on hole 1, and he moves forward. But let's go ahead and bounce over to the back 9 here with Josele Ballester. He's down 3, but he's got about a 10-footer here, and he just snakes it right into the cup. He had that one dialed in all the way. A terrific job there by the freshman. Now, over to hole 11. Bit of a sticky situation here for the number 4 ranked amateur in the world, David Pooge. Out of the sand and pops it just about 4 feet away from the cup. A great job that time by Pooge. And now for par, just to get that up and down save, and he does it right there, is really well done. You can see Arizona State just deadlocked with Arizona at this point. And then over to hole 13, we'll stay with David Pooge. Grabs the 3-iron out of the bag and lets loose. This one looks like it's going to go right on the pin, but it's actually going to come up a little bit short, so David Pooge is going to be stuck in the sand once again for his 3rd shot, trying to set up for a birdie putt. A bit of deja vu here as David Pooge pops it right out of the bunker, off the fringe, and it bounces right up to the green. And on hole 18, the last hole on the course, Cameron Sisk rounds it out for the Sun Devils, knocks in the putt as he would pick up a match win. Arizona State would walk out of this one winning 15-9, showing no pity for the Kitty as Arizona gets beat by the Sun Devils once again. Let's take a quick peek at the next couple of tournaments for Sun Devil men's golf. After taking down in-state rival Arizona, they'll head to the Southwestern Intercollegiate. Pepperdine will host that. Then they'll head to Kona. They'll take on Houston and Arkansas in the Cabo Collegiate, and they'll head to Oregon for the Duck Invitational. That's what's coming up for Arizona State men's golf.
Well, I mean, we did. We came back from Christmas and we were fired up. They had this sense of urgency. They were excited. I mean, we didn't play great against Lipscomb, but we were just, okay, we know what we need to do. We actually came out of that game and did a scrimmage that weekend, and that was like the best I'd ever seen our team play. We were just, we know it. We got to rebound better. We got to do this. We got to do that. And boom, then it hit. So, but that's all here. That's all here, and we just got to get it going again and regenerate it. I mean, this team, I was kind of meeting with some of them today. I'm like, so are you nervous? Are you excited? I just want to play. So I think, we'll be very grateful for every. I mean, going through this makes you very grateful for every game you get to play.
Like head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne said, it has been nearly a month since these Sun Devils have played a game, and our women's basketball reporter Jack Pearson is here to give us a look at what to expect from this squad, who's trying to get their game shape and offensive rhythm back.
Well, Arizona State has yet to play in 2022. They haven't touched the court since December 30th, and the last 6 games have been postponed due to COVID health and safety protocols. However, tonight the 22nd ranked Colorado Buffaloes come into Tempe for ASU's first Pac-12 conference game this season. How ready are the Sun Devils for this matchup is a common question being asked. The Sun Devils haven't had adequate time to practice, and head coach Charlie Turner-Thorne has worries about her team's physical shape. The 8-5 Sun Devils will have their hands full against a Colorado team that has a 16th ranked scoring defense in the country. It will feel like a fresh start for this ASU team that has shown glimpses towards the end of 2021 of what it is capable of. This is a team filled with experienced and talented players. Tonight, they will have to rely on their leading scorer, Jade Lavelle, who comes into the matchup averaging just under 15 points a game. When she and the rest of the team can get it going on the offensive side, ASU tends to win games. In games where ASU scores over 54 points, it is 5-1. Obviously, easier said than done against one of the best defensive teams in the country. Tune in tonight on Pac-12 Network for what could be a back-and-forth battle. Now, back to Sammy and Ethan in the studio.
Make sure to tune in tonight at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time to see the Sun Devils compete against the Buffaloes. Another team who's competing this weekend is Asu Wrestling, who is taking on Cal State University Bakersfield and Cal Poly. Our Kellen Croxton has updates on how this team has competed thus far.
Arizona State Wrestling has been struggling as of late, despite the Sun Devils being ranked as high as 6th in the nation earlier in the season. The team has dropped their past 3 duels primarily due to their higher weight class struggles. Through the team's first 6 weight classes, the Sun Devils hold a dual record of 27 wins and only 4 losses. Within these first 6 weight classes, Arizona State has outscored their opponents by 88 team points. While the team's first 6 wrestlers are creating comfortable leads in duels, the heavier weight classes for Arizona State are the team's weak spot. In the final 4 weight classes, the current roster holds a record of 5 wins and 10 losses and has been outscored in duels by 34 points. The only bright spot is heavyweight Colton Schultz, who is 4-0 on the season and has earned 15 team points for Arizona State this season. As the team attempts to save their season, their first 6 wrestlers are performing at a national championship level. Against number 1 Penn State through the first 6 weight classes, the teams were tied 10-10. However, the Nittany Lions ended up winning 29-10. In fact, all of their losses this season have had the Sun Devils either even or ahead of the competition. In their other 2 losses, the team led 16-6 against Pitt and 20-18 against Princeton.
Thanks for the update on the Matt Kellen. Now let's go ahead and take a look at who's hot on Sun Devil men's hockey's roster. One guy you have to take a look at is Colin Tyson. He's been on fire. His point totals have been terrific. And when you look at the leaders in goal scoring across the nation, you don't have to look too far down the list to find Tyson's name. He's tied for 3rd in total points and he's 2nd in goals. The Notre Dame grad transfer had a blazing hot start to his first few months in Tempe. And now in the second half of the season, he has the chance to make the run for the Hobie Baker Award. The young freshman phenom Josh Doan, son of 10-year captain of the Coyotes Shane Doan, has been a player that head coach Greg Powers leans on pretty heavily on the first line almost every game. Doan is arguably one of the best freshmen in the entire country and has continued to develop in his first season in a Sun Devil sweater. And after taking a look back at some of the previous games, I think it's only fair to bring up senior forward Chris Grando, who's been just firing on all cylinders as of late. He's been a spark to this team midway through the season and has stepped up big time as a veteran, not only on the ice with his recent goal scoring, but off the ice as well.
He has had its fair share of ups and downs this season against ranked opponents. They would lose the season series to number 12 ranked Denver, would lose on the road again to number 5 Quinnipiac, and would split a 2-game home series against number 20 Bemidji State. As of late, the Sun Devils have turned it around, as they would sweep number 18 Clarkson in 2 games at home, sweep number 9 Cornell to ring in the new year, and just recently beat number 11 Northeastern on the road in an add-in game. The biggest test of the year, number 2 Minnesota State, still awaits them. Now, Jack Bartlett has what is ahead for Greg Powers and his squad.
The Sun Devils are in the final stretch of the season with postseason eligibility up in the air. With a 5-12 record, ASU's best chance to make the tournament would be to win out. ASU has just 4 series left in the regular season, 2 at home and 2 on the road. The Sun Devils have struggled to win away from Oceanside. In road venues, ASU has a goal differential of -14, being outscored 55 goals to 41, which has them at a 4-8 record in those contests. Now, They are coming off 2 road series wins, marking the first time all season ASU has won consecutive road games. That's something to consider when the Sun Devils head to Mankato and Fairbanks to finish off its road campaign. At Oceanside, the Sun Devils are 11-4 with wins over several ranked opponents, as Eric just mentioned. So ASU needs to continue its recent success in away matches to be considered for the NCAA tournament.
Let's go ahead and check out some top plays. Here we've got number 3. It's going to be Mikhail McGee on the mat here against Princeton. You can see he's up 16-2. Just gets into position and gets a nice pin down right there on the Tigers, as he would go on to win that match, as Arizona State had quite the day on the mat, and we'll have some more from there later on.
And we have some basketball for you for number 2 with this big-time play that called game. So Marion Jackson is trying to drain the clock as much as possible. He's going to shift to the left, try to attract the defense, dish it to Jalen Graham, who floats it in. And with 4.6 seconds remaining, Utah is going to try to get a basket off, but ASU's defense was just too hot to handle. ASU would win 64-62.
You're right, that basketball team's defense was incredible the other night, but let's take a look at some offensive attacking ability here for Ja'Cory Teamer. Everybody hates Monday. You can see the wrestler's name for Princeton is Monday, as Teamer just taking it to him, as he did a terrific job right there and pretty much sealed the deal for Arizona State, as he would walk away with a win by decision.
Well, that's it for us on this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. That's Ethan Tuttle. I'm Sammy Miller, and thank you for tuning in this week, and make sure to catch us next Friday for even more exciting content. Have a good weekend, everyone.